いくら外見を着飾ってもそれだけじゃ素敵にはならなかったみたいだね。
Alright, we're back here once again with my analysis and opinion for this week's Boruto episode. I am glad to say that it was more consistent and better than last week. I think this was a solid episode with great moments for all characters involved that put the anime back on track. And to be quite honest, this seems to be the trend with Boruto. One week it's good and then the next it's questionable and lazy. I think we as a community all feel this way. However, quite a number of people last week commented regarding my analysis that I spread hatred for the series and I twist people's opinions to agree with me. I'm not a real Naruto fan because I talk about what is wrong with it on a weekly basis. So, I don't understand why I have to address this one more time, but haven't you heard the saying, your biggest fan is your toughest critic? How can you blindly love something without addressing or answering why you love it and support it in the first place? Everything I said last week and I always address in my weekly Boruto reviews is based upon facts, analysis and knowledge on this series. Why would I call my video a review if you don't actually want me to review what I'm watching? That's just stupid. I love the Naruto franchise and Boruto manga. In fact, me making weekly videos on Boruto keeps this goddamn show more relevant and keeps people interested in it. If people end up agreeing with my opinion and everything I say in terms of analysis and opinion, right? That's not on me, that's on them using their own brain, figuring things out for themselves. If my reviews or channel ever gets to the point where I'm not allowed to say my honest opinion on what I think about something, then I'd say that's the day I quit making Boruto review videos. Okay, with that elephant out of the room, with that got quite dark, let's cue the intro. The episode starts off with Team 7 reunited and Mitsuki saves Boruto and says thank you. The writers essentially did this to emphasize the point that Mitsuki truly has made his own will to go back to Boruto being his son and him being the moon. Mitsuki stops Boruto getting hurt from the clay explosion, goes back to the exposition of what Shikadai explained to Kokuyo regarding the human heart and what is the difference between them. Mitsuki now understands that humans have this connection and feeling over the Octa, and that his feelings for Boruto may truly be manifested due to the years of companionship and battles he has experienced with him. It may not be something manifested through his creation that Orochimaru has implanted into him. However, in my opinion, I still think this is questionable because Mitsuki does not know what we know. We literally saw Orochimaru speak to Log on how he implanted Boruto's case files purposefully for Mitsuki to see them after he escaped. So Mitsuki decides to go to Konoha to join the academy. I know what you guys are probably thinking. Did man just get all that information from an 8-second scene? Yeah, I did. Deal with it. I'm balls deep, yo. I analyzed the shit out of everything, fam. I'm just explaining everything so you understand. So the next scene we see my analysis proven correct again from last week as Kirara ends up saying, "But I'll kill you this time" to Sarada and Boruto. And I was just thinking, yeah right bitch, you had the perfect time last episode, this time you dead. The plot armor jutsu has been activated, fam. You're too late, fam.
しぶといねあんたたち。でも今度こそ殺してあげる。
So Mitsuki ends up fighting Sekie and he tries to use the Naruto Talk no Jutsu, the best, most powerful jutsu in this whole universe, right? But it isn't effective yet. He's still working on that technique, so he ends up fighting his friend. Mitsuki basically was saying, "I don't want you to fight you, man, you're my bro." And then Sekie says, "I'll kill Boruto." And then Mitsuki responds and says, "Ah, hell no! Come here, you little shit. I'm gonna beat your ass. He's my boy Boruto, bitch. You ain't gonna do nothing to my man, bitch." Mitsuki explains what I said last week in my analysis. I end up being right again, that he drew the line of morality once Lord Ku decided to sacrifice human beings for his own benefit. Mitsuki says that Lord Ku took the wrong path and the whole time he was waiting and seeing what would happen with their decision making if he stayed with them. This is what resulted in Mitsuki betraying Lord Ku and realizing that protecting at something or someone that you love like Boruto is one of the truest things that can define a human being, which is basically being selfless instead of selfish.
Oh no, no. How could this happen?
However, I must say I am disappointed regarding when Sekie ends up dying in front of Mitsuki. As I said last week, I was hoping that the writers remembered the plot point they created in previous episodes, that Mitsuki has never cried before, and that was the perfect time to showcase Mitsuki crying for someone else, thus proving he is becoming more human and entering phase 3, moving on from phase 2 as Orochimaru said. It's a bit more character development that I would have liked personally. Now, I am not saying that they forgot about this whole plot device, because they did showcase Mitsuki after, but they didn't show his tears, so who knows, maybe they are saving this plot device for next week when Oniki may sacrifice himself against Lord Ku. This is what I am hoping for personally. You know, maybe they will do a flashback of storytelling that shows that he was hiding his tears. Overall, the moment was great, and because Mitsuki doesn't even end up fist bumping Sekie as he dies, his arm literally falls off, right? And this serves as a constant reminder to us as viewers, as well as Mitsuki's character himself, that sadness and sorrow is also a feeling we must all suffer from that makes us human beings. Sometimes things don't always end up going right. Sometimes pain makes us more human, and suffering does occur to every ninja, creature, fabrication, as well as human being. Mitsuki even mentions how he felt loneliness in Konoha when his words don't reach the people, so this scene was basically emphasizing on that matter. Alright, the final thing I want to talk about is Boruto and Sarada vs Kirara. The whole time I was watching this fight and Boruto was on the back foot, I was like, Konohamaru, come in here, mate, it's your time to shine, boy. I was literally shouting Konohamaru is gonna pull up on the screen, and guess what, it doesn't happen. And I was like, oh man, why didn't that happen? So Konohamaru is getting no time to shine and hasn't really done anything at all in this arc. But then Boruto summons Garaga, and I thought, oh yeah, I forgot about that plot device. Then the anime reminds us of the plot point that Mitsuki did not end up betraying Boruto, therefore Boruto fulfilled the promise to Garaga that humans and friends can be trusted. So Garaga ends up agreeing and helps Boruto against the huge Octa being. I would like to point out that Boruto's chakra levels are of course insane. He has an Uzumaki and Hyuga after all, and on top of that, his chakra control is amazing. It's one of the best in the series. So Boruto summoning Garaga, doing this much shadow clones throughout this whole arc and fighting and doing the vanishing Rasengan, it isn't far-fetched at all, because we have to also remind ourselves that the seal on Boruto's palm also gives him more chakra, and this was confirmed in Boruto manga chapter 28 by Kawaki. Boruto just hasn't realized his powers and pure eye that he has been blessed with from the very beginning. Seeing Garaga again was fantastic. I really like his character, but one thing that came into my mind, I don't know if you guys have this same thought, but how is this dude communicating with Boruto like that? Because the toads, for example, reside in Mount Miyabaku and don't communicate in that manner, and when they are summoned, they get transported and then talk as normal, right? So no summon that we have seen in the franchise talks to the ninja that they are in contract with, unless they have been summoned already, of course. And Naruto talks to Kurama because he is sealed within him and can see what he can do, and they communicate inside each other. So Garaga seems to have that same connection with Boruto, because when Boruto entered contract with Garaga, he entered his mind and saw his past memories and shared Ninshu, which is what Hagoromo and Naruto preach about all the time. So maybe because Garaga and Boruto have Ninshu, they essentially have shared a connection and can communicate telepathically. I don't know, maybe it's because of Boruto's pure eye and marking that is giving him these powers. But logically, I am going to say Garaga entered contract with Boruto and wants to see things through with his friend Mitsuki, right? So Garaga is watching through Boruto's eyes constantly till the end of this arc to see if the promise gets fulfilled. But Garaga won't be doing this in the future. If he does, it's kind of weird, and we do need more clarification in the future of how is this happening. Boruto talks to Garaga as if he is inside him like the Nine Tails. How did Garaga see that Boruto is in trouble and that he needs to be summoned exactly? I like that Boruto has this connection with Garaga, of course, but I want to know what's going on. Whilst Garaga and Boruto are fighting the huge Octa, of course I say this every week, god damn, Sarada pulls through and destroys Kirara, like literally watches her die. Sarada is such a savage, and this is why she is one of my favorite characters. She just gets the job done and is an absolute beast. Sarada is the MVP of this whole arc if you think about it. Sarada uses genjutsu with his Sharingan and pretends to die. Now I don't know if it was only me, but my jaw literally dropped that I thought, wow, Sarada is tanking a shot just to finish the job. job because her acting was so good. Just look at this. She acts and pretends it hurts and then smiles.
Gotcha, bitch!
Sarada destroys her and uses lightning style, and I think all of Team 7 know lightning style, which means maybe in the future they're gonna make a trio lightning jutsu thunderbolt technique that obliterates an opponent. That would be a good plot device, I think, and I would do that if I was the writer because they all know lightning style. And Sarada is just a savage. She could have saved her. I think she could have saved Kirara, but she just watched the rock fall on her and die. Overall, I think throughout the whole internet a lot of people were saying they cried or got really emotional this episode, and I didn't, so I guess that means I'm not as emotionally invested as I thought. Ku ends up killing the doctor and implements the heart into himself. Now I say implant because man did the best job he could do because it's exposed. I'm assuming he doesn't know how to transplant properly because, you know, he just did the best that he could with his abilities, and logically that made sense to me. I think Oniki says he will fight Ku next episode, so he is likely gonna sacrifice himself or something crazy. I hope for the best of outcomes, right? Anyways, thank you for joining me for this review. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Follow me on Instagram or Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time.